How's it going, everyone? Today, I'm finally here to talk about the Relic Data stuff. My PC died again. I've replaced the motherboard and the CPU. Not cheap either, but either way, it's done, and that should hopefully uh, hold, right? I shouldn't have any more PC issues, is the hope and the desire. So, I'm finally able to weigh in on this. I'm not going to go through this entire article, because I'm sure at this point in time you've all seen it. If you haven't, EA Forums Design Fireside Chat Edition, right? But essentially, CG is saying, "Hey, look, we hear you guys. We don't want, we don't think, that you guys understand why we need to do this. So this is them trying to reason why they're doing relic data. Look, I'm not going to get into whether I agree or disagree with them that that the game needs it. I don't personally think it does, but I do think they have some like valid arguments, right? But again, I'm not pro relic data, right? But I just I do think they have some reasonable points where it's like let's see if I can't find the main thing here where they were kind of like, here we go. This is the best point in the entire article. We've heard from the community that players don't think R9 is worth investing outside of requirements, GLs, and the occasional tank. R9 still loses to R5, just like R8 does. R9 doesn't make battles in the early phase of TB beating faster. R9 doesn't make assault battle, challenge tiers, or proving grounds, or any other events much easier. It comes up short in both PvE and PvP content, both solo and group content. I think they're right? I mean, I don't think anybody here would disagree with like the fact that even on my main account, my Darth Bane is Relic 7. Like, it's a resource management game, and when Relic 7 gets the job done, and there's never been a reason for me to Relic 9 him, I think that's not a bad argument for them to say, hey, look, the bottom line is R9's not valuable right now. Now, I think there's a better way to do it. I think that they could easily just say, okay, fine, for every Relic level add, 10% stats, right? Like instead of scaling it arbitrarily based on a difference, just make R8 R9 better, right? Because then it's not going to hit the like mid game R3 R5 R7 battles, right? Because there's already reasons to do those upgrades. So I think they could easily do it and not mess with R1 through R7 progression. But either way, that's the main. Oh, yeah, here we go. You could say just make the stats R9 bigger. We'll address that possible. But and then what does that mean for? Yeah, so like they've got their reasons why they don't think what I just said is a good idea. I've got reasons why I think what they said is not a good idea, right? I think R10 is fine in and of itself, right? Like we've been at R9 for 4 years. This will be the first new relic level in 4 years. Like that's fine. I'm not. We've had way too long just with R9 at the peak anyway. It's been a great amount of time for people to catch up and to grow their rosters and try to close gaps, and that's been really good. But anyway, so the relic data itself, I don't agree with, right? But they talk about different versions. Like I said, we're not going to spend forever talking about this article. If you want to go through the whole thing, I encourage you to do that. These are the latest relic data numbers from CG. And this was last week. Assuming I get this uploaded tomorrow on Monday, this was, I believe, Friday that we got these numbers. So right now, so this is the relic difference. This is the yellow is the old numbers, most recent old numbers, and this is the latest numbers. So if you are one relic level below someone, you do 5% less damage. If you're 2 relic levels below someone, you do 10% less damage. If you're 3 relic levels below someone, you do 33% less damage. 4 relic levels below someone, you do 50% less damage. And if you're 5 relic levels below someone, you do 66% less damage. And the same thing in the other direction, 5, 10, 50, but then instead of 66, instead of 33 here, it goes 5, 10, 33 here, it goes 5, 10, 50%, 100%, 200%. This is for relic levels over the character you're attacking and the character you're using. So what is this going to mean in practice? That's really the point of this video. Is there's a lot of like, oh my god, you're not going to be able to kill, like I'm not going to be able to kill Ray with a gear 12, Relic 9 Ray with a gear 12, like yeah, and that didn't happen a lot anyway. So like let's not kid ourselves and pretend that anybody who's out here using like Relic 1, Malicos, and Starkiller and consistently beating Relic 9 Rays, Relic 7, maybe, right? Relic 7, maybe. But the bottom line is you're not going to be able to stop at Relic 3, right? Like, that, to me, is the biggest practical result of Relic data will be you will not stop at Relic 3 for supports and stuff. In the past, that's, like, typically your stopping point for a support character. Like, obviously, C-3PO is a requirement for things above Relic 3, but let's just pretend he's not. If you were gearing Commander Luke team and you wanted a Relic 3PO, you would stop at Relic 3, right? He doesn't deal damage. He is not going to be the first person to die. There's really no reason to take him past Relic 3. Well, now you have to decide, am I okay with, if 3PO gets targeted, him taking 200% more damage, right? So that's where that's going to come in. But again, it's like characters like 3PO, probably a bad example because he also doesn't deal damage, so you're not worried as much about this either. But the point is that supports themselves, you're not going to be able to stop at R3 as consistently. Let's say you R5 everyone on your roster, right? Let's say that you don't R7 anybody, then you're always going to live. If you're like outside of Kyber, like 1 and 2, you're probably going to live in the most of the enemy team. They're going to be Relic 7, Relic 5, or Relic 8. Sometimes they're going to be Relic 9, right? Like, you're not fighting full Relic 9 teams. You might have 1 or 2 characters occasionally that are Relic 9. So realistically, you'll be at a 2 delta most of the time. So when you're attacking, you're going to deal 10% less damage. And when they're attacking you, you're going to take 10% more damage. That's a livable like thing. So as long as you're consistently like scaling your Relic levels based on where you are in Grand Arena, you'll be okay, right? Like 10% more and less damage is not significant. That is like Datacron level differences, right? Like that's the difference between them having 400% defense is going to be a bigger damage reduction on a Datacron than it is the baked in here. Now, obviously, those things stacked together will be difficult, right? But realistically, it just means if you're up in the high parts of Kyber where you're going to be consistently seeing Relic 8, Relic 9 teams, yeah, you're going to need a Relic 7, right? Because even now, once you're at Relic 7, now you're still only within this 2 delta. Obviously, we're getting Relic 10, but just live in a world where it doesn't exist yet, right? If you're Relic 7, you're never going to be at more than a 2 delta. Right, so it's not that you're going to need full Relic 9 teams to compete with whales. It's that you're going to need full Relic 7 teams because you can deal with a 10% difference, right? Like, you can work within a 10% difference and still win your battles. Because, again, Datacrons are doing more than that right now. So that's my, like, how is this going to impact you as a player, right? It's going to be, you need to understand that wherever you're at in Grand Arena, you're going to need to kind of look at, you know, the people around you. Like, if I go to the leaderboard, right, and I look at the people near me here. So I'm in Kyber 2. I just lost my last game here and dropped back. Okay, well, I can't get all the way down to where I'm at. Oh, here we go, my ranking. I'll look at the people next to me and be like, okay, well, do I think, you know, I'm going to have okay, apparently that doesn't work either. Okay, well, then we'll just go to, like, the lowest ranked person of the top 50 in Kyber. Like, if I fight his Pirate King, I don't have Hondo yet, but if I fight his Hondo team, right, I'm probably going to need a full team of Relic 7 characters, right? So, because his lowest here is 7, that actually is used, right? He's got some 5s here, but they're not used in the Hondo team. And then Hondo himself, Brutus, are a Relic 9. I don't think neutral Hondo makes it. And then if I throw my JMK at his Hondo team, I'm also kind of up there, right? Like, I've got a Relic 8 JMK, Relic 8 Cat, Relic 9 Cat, Relic 9 GK. Like, these are all requirements from Jill Ahsoka. Relic 9 Snips, Relic 8 Padme from Lord Vader, or if I use Mace, right? Like, I've got a Relic 5 Mace. Like, Mace, all of a sudden I might have to be like, well, maybe I need to Relic 7 my Mace. Right, it's like those are the realistic outcomes. Is think about the teams you're using and say, okay, do I have a character that's just going to fold like paper if I throw this against an R9 team or an R7 team, depending on where you're in Grand Arena? My main account, I get it, not the best example. So let's go look at my alt account. So I pull up my guild's roster here. I go to last activity. I should be pretty recent on here. But a lot of people log in the past hour. All right. So if I go here and I, like, let's say Jabba for my second account. I've got a Relic 5 Bausch, I've got a Relic 5 Chrysanthemum, a Relic 5 Skipper Lando. Realistically, I'm going to need to probably go R7 Bausch, R7 Chrysanthemum, R7 Skipper Lando, right? Because now, all of a sudden, you know, CLS could, like, kind of sort of sometimes beat Jabba with certain Datacrons, but now, like, a full Relic 7 CLS team might be able to run me down, right, with an extra 10% damage. So that's the question, and it's really going to be also like, Relic 3 characters, right? So if I sort by Relic Amp, and I look at, I haven't gotten to Jocasta yet, but like, are there Relic 3 characters I'm using that might really suffer? I've got a Relic 3 SWGOH, right? And I've never needed to bump it because he always does great work. I'm probably going to need to R5 or R7 SWGOH. Same thing with Treya, same thing with Nihilus, same thing with Mace, same thing with Armor here. Armor I'm sending in with Sith Eternal, and I need her to live to get the Beskar off. And if she's, again, if we look at the Delta, so let's say that I'm using Armor against, let's just say R7 character. That's a 4 Relic Delta difference, so I'm taking 100% increased damage. So realistically, I need to R5 her, maybe R7 now. So like that's again, oh, you guys can't even see the, oh no, it is it's in the left corner. Okay, sorry. So like those are the differences. Like R5 Malicos might need to go to R7 now, right? Like if I want to fight R9 Rays and do a reasonable amount of damage, I might need to bump 2 relic levels there. Similar thing with Scorch, or with if I don't want Mara to be as weak. But then there's characters like Hermit Yoda where I just don't really care, right? Like he's not going to get hit, he's not going to be doing damage. So you're going to need to like sort of go to your relic amplifier levels on your roster and decide like what do you use that is on a knife's edge as a counter that is really going to depend on whether you get up or not. Like Malgus, I've needed to do this for a while and I probably bump Malgus up. But like Malgus, I'm probably going to need to go to R7, because people, I'm fighting R17s most of the time and it's already pretty close, like Great Mother sometimes, for example, right? I got R5 Ben Solo here. R7 SLKR. That's probably going to need to go R8, R9. And that's okay, right? Like I don't, like none of this is like crippling, not going to be able to do fights anymore. Now, I think the conversation for the, 2 mil, 3 million GP players is going to be a little different, right? Like I think that just turns into a situation where you just have to say, you're just going to have to, when you make a Relic team, you're just going to have to R5 the whole team at minimum. You're not going to be able to stop at R3 when you want to make a Relic team. And when you're trying to fight, Gear 12 against, like a Gear 12 Treya team, like on my baby account, against a Relic 5 team, like it's probably just not going to work anymore. And that's going to suck. And there's not much I can really do for that, but I can tell you how to adjust in a mid and a late game account setting. But I can't do much for the early, like pre-4 mil GP meta. Unfortunately, a lot of your like punch-up counters are just not going to work. Some of them still will, right? Anything that's like infinite, like Terminator type looping or hard control, where you just keep them from doing anything, that might still work, right? But we don't know, and we don't know what the final numbers are going to be either. So I encourage you not to like sky is falling panic over these relic data numbers. But if you can stay within 2 relic levels of someone, 10% is reasonable, right? Like we can all punch up 10% and be okay. Once you start hitting that 4 or 5 relic delta difference, it's not going to be feasible. So anyway, that's my talk about relic data. I understand, most people don't want it. I don't know that really anybody wants it. I'm just trying to help you understand how to best prepare, how to best adapt, and how to best change your roster if it happens, when it happens. And we'll go from there. But for now, don't panic. Keep holding on to your resources. Maybe now's a good time to sit on some relic materials and see how this plays out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.